Should I wear this throughout the review? I don't think I should. There's already several people looking at me. I'm gonna take this off. But know that I am in the St. Patrick's Day mood. First candle. Again, brand new for 2017. So what's interesting is these St. Patrick's Day themed candles moved pretty quickly on the website. In fact, one of them sold out. This was low in stock, but since then they have, I guess, replenished their stock, because I believe both of them are still available on the website. But I'm assuming, based on their popularity, that they're going to move fast. So definitely check these out. They're most likely going to be at your local Yankee Candle store. Smell them. If you like them, purchase them, get them before they sell out, because there's nothing worse when you love a candle and it sells out and then you got to pay an inflated cost on eBay to get a candle. Emerald Isle. Look at that label. Yeah, they're definitely improving these labels now. Look how much is involved in this composition. There's a lot of depth to this photography, which I'm very excited about. Emerald Isle. Here we go. Okay, so it's safe to say this is not necessarily what I was expecting, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Give me a chance to gather my thoughts, though. This might take a little bit. I got like two teenage girls about 20, 30 feet away from me, staring right at me, talking to each other, kind of smiling and laughing that there's a grown man videotaping himself, or maybe they don't see the camera and they think I'm talking to myself, which would be much worse. Videotaping himself, or maybe they don't see the camera and they think I'm talking to myself, which would be much worse. But they're definitely getting a kick out of the fact that I look like an absolute lunatic, smelling candles, talking out loud. Hey, comes with the territory, comes with the job. So a very appropriate color, very appropriate name, Emerald, because this is a very green candle. Green in a lot of ways. Definitely a fresh cut grass. Lemongrass. Imagine if lime grass existed. Wintergreen, because there's a little bit of this cooling sensation. Lemon verbena. Lemon verbena at times can smell very limey. There's clover, there's pine. So what I'm describing may sound like a basic Irish Spring bar of soap, but it's not, because it's going to be embellished with big time citrus. And for me, what's coming through is undeniably grapefruit. Grapefruit juice, grapefruit zest. You get that ruby red citrus that's brightening up all of those green herbaceous notes. And that lemon verbena, lemongrass thing is kind of tied together with that grapefruit. I think a lot of IPA beer lovers might find this candle interesting, because it shares a lot of the same qualities as the variety of hops Simcoe. Simcoe hops have a very peachy, citrusy, grapefruit, pine needle aromatic profile, and all of those things are happening inside of this candle. So St. Patrick's Day, IPA beer, I'm getting it. But all of those notes in that Simcoe hop is adding to this environmental experience that we see on the label as well, except maybe for the citrus. Let me tell you, this is a very refreshing scent, because with that tartness, it's also bringing the sweetness, like fruit punch aroma, or margarita, you know, that lime margarita. You ever get a margarita where instead of the salt, they give you like ground up lime zest and sugar, like granulated sugar on the rim? Yeah, this is like a sweet, zesty, limey margarita, minus the tequila. This has a very sweet fabric softener laundry room aroma, probably because of the inclusion of a white musk, a very clean scent. So even as green as this candle is, it's going to have that contrast of sweetness, fruitiness. So Emerald Isle, a bit of a departure from your typical St. Patrick's Day scented candle. If you like that Irish Spring bar soap, laundry room, fabric softener, clean aroma, but with some citrus and that sweet stone fruit peachiness, this is something that you might want to have for St. Patrick's Day. Just again, to mix things up. It's not going to be overly herbaceous and floral like some of the other typical St. Patrick's Day candles that you find all over the place this time of year. Emerald Isle, very cool. Let's move on. All right, so here we go. This is the 15th candle produced by Yankee Candle for 2017. And after I review and share my thoughts of this candle, I will have shared all of my thoughts on these 15 fragrances. So make sure you check out all of the links that are going to be in the description below for those previous videos. We're completely up to date. So here we go. The 15th candle for 2017 by Yankee Candle is going to be a very popular one. Sweet Irish coffee. Oh man, very excited when I hear that a brand new coffee fragrance is going to be released, especially when it's Yankee Candle, because I'm waiting for that bombastic expression of espresso bean, that authentic coffee bean aroma. Usually when you find coffee scents, it's really a conglomeration of things that you put into coffee. You know, the sugar, the creamer, the half and half, the hazelnut flavorings, the caramel flavorings. But I'm always in search of an incredibly authentic espresso crema on top coffee aroma. So I'm very familiar with Irish coffee. If anyone's been to San Francisco, Buena Vista, and gotten an Irish coffee or two or three, I was a frequent there whenever I spent time in the city. Let us jump into this caffeinated Yankee Candle. Here we go. All right, so a copious amount of chocolate here in many different forms. Chocolate fudge, semi-sweet, cocoa powdered covered chocolate truffles, Hershey's syrup, and chocolate milk, because it has this luscious dairiness to it, which I guess we could say is that cream or steamed milk on the top of this Irish coffee. Wow, like freshly made brownie batter. In fact, years ago, Starbucks used to make an espresso brownie. Yeah, like a double fudge chocolate brownie with ground up espresso beans inside. Man, that was like my favorite treat served by Starbucks. It was more fudge in texture than it was cakeish in texture. And my mind might be deceiving me, but I believe I'm detecting the smallest amount of mint in the background here. Interesting. I've never had an Irish coffee with mint, but I think that's what's happening. And there's definitely a vanilla quality to this candle. This is totally like a 50s diner, Happy Days, grease lightning, vanilla shake, sipping it out of one of those barbershop straws, or maybe even scooping it with a spoon because of the thickness, but a very sweet vanilla component. And that sweetness, I believe, is tied in with the brown sugar element. Brown sugar is a very popular ingredient in Irish coffee. There's a little bit of marshmallow, which is, guess what, creating that s'mores effect. We have that chocolate, we have that vanilla marshmallow sweetness, and with the addition of like cinnamon and nutmeg, those baking spices, and that brown sugar, that's kind of creating that graham cracker crust. So totally a s'mores experience here. So do you like walnuts on your brownies? I do. I am picking up on a nuttiness here, but it's not necessarily walnuts. It's more of this sweet raw almond, like almond milk. So let me tell you, delicious, delicious candle. But what's interesting is there is little to no coffee or booziness like Irish whiskey coming through. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you are expecting a coffee-driven or an Irish whiskey, like an oak-aged Irish whiskey forwardness, smokiness, woodiness, espresso bean, that's really not what's happening here. This is a massively sweet candle, very delicious, appropriate for St. Patrick's Day, but I think we could just as easily call this spiced hot cocoa and get away with it without any arguments, because that chocolate is really dominating this candle. And although we do get chocolate fudgy notes on coffee, we get nutty notes on coffee, we get baking spice notes on coffee, you know, coffee beans still have a very distinct aroma, and it's just not coming through here. If that is the approach, hey, I'm okay with that. I mean, this is very reminiscent of chocolate layer cake or chocolate truffle by Yankee Candle, and maybe even spiced white cocoa that was released last year as an online exclusive. So sweet Irish coffee, I don't know, but delicious, absolutely. Would I burn this? You better believe it. I see why a lot of people like this. If you like really sweet, chocolatey, bakery shop, chocolate shop, Willy Wonka-esque candles, this is a great one for St. Patrick's Day, or guess what? Any time of the year. What do you think? Moving on. Whew. Now, the Yankee Candle Village in South Deerfield, Massachusetts has several exclusive candles. So I picked out 5 that are village exclusive. I'm going to share my thoughts and impressions. And here's the thing. I'm not quite sure if you like these, how we're going to get them. Don't be mad at me that I'm sharing candles with you that you're going to have a difficult time purchasing. My suggestion is to you is call South Deerfield, Massachusetts or Virginia, call them up on the phone and say, hey, look, I'm a big Yankee Candle fan. Can you ship them to me? More times than not, they will. So just because it's exclusive to the village doesn't mean you can't get it via the mail. When I was living out in California, I would call them up all the time and they would ship straight from Deerfield to California. So a big heads up to Yankee Candle for providing that kind of service. So a candle that seems to be as old as time. It's been around here for a long time. Got to change the battery on my Canon here. There's nothing worse than when you're on a roll talking about something that you're passionate about and then you get cut off because the battery dies. Now the thing is it framed the same way as it was before? Looks pretty good. Let's focus on my face and let us pick up where we just left off. So as delicious as this candle is,